Before we started the podcast, right, we were talking about how you have a 450 people company now, and you have no HR, you have no appraisal. So is that also an extension of that philosophy, like live and let live, that you were just talking about?
Look, I went through phases. So I obviously started my corporate career with a consulting firm. I saw HR there. I then in my first startup, I think we were probably one of the most organized startups. I, Thanks to my co-founders, there are a lot of processes, I think even now I would say the first company I had processes better than I think most other companies, let alone startups. Um, and we did have, I think, a lot of what we would call HR and talent and leadership. I think my general sense really was I just looked at the amount of work that went in this discipline and
Hmm.
the kind of problems it tried to solve, but actually the side effects and the problems it created. And when we started the third startup, the second startup, we acquired a company. They already had HR and they were very. So I would say this has been a phenomenon from 2017, not earlier. I just really thought about it and said, look, why do we have this? And I just went by first principles and said, it really doesn't make sense. We recruit adults and treat them like kids.
Hmm.
That we have this policies, roles. Then every year we have to do one report card. And like a parent teacher meeting, we have to call these guys, talk to them. Of course, because they're adults, we'll do 360 degrees. And it creates a tremendous amount of, I think, once in a event in a year and paradigm, which I'm not sure whether it really solves anything or helps in anything.
Hmm.
I think humans inherently like to be assessed. I think inherently like positive strokes, inherently some of the appreciate feedback. I understand all that. But having someone externally run it rather than the people you're dealing with every day didn't seem to make much sense to me. And then I really looked at my first startup and second startup to figure out what is the actual occurrence of what you would call violation of policies and the cost to the company and what it would actually mean. And I realized that we were fretting about maybe a 5% issue in terms of somebody using something that they should not have done or whatever it is. And for that, you'll have to create an whole empire. Again, didn't make any sense to me. So I think that it really was that. And I think finally it was also that, look, how would I like to be treated? If I join a company today, how would I like to be treated? And I said, look, this is the way I like to be treated, I wouldn't want to subject anybody else to any other kind of treatment.